I look at that says "Don't be Jim." So I've just learned to always keep my limbs safe.
Yeah, and just never have a cigarette in close quarters by a shark. I think they mentioned on the commentary that I think Sam Jackson says that the shark wanted that cigarette.
Yeah, the shark wanted the smoke.
I mean, the shark, it doesn't smoke the cigarette. The shark eats the cigarette. So, I mean, we've talked about these sharks learning stuff, but it hasn't learned a lot. What created
the very, very aggressive response was because it was going through nicotine withdrawals.
Ah.
Well,
we didn't know. We didn't know. This whole movie is actually an entire public service announcement of why you shouldn't smoke.
I have a Far Side comic in my head right now. It's just the three sharks at night in a corner smoking cigarettes above the water.
Yeah. And then angry mommy finds them and takes all their cigarettes and eats them, and then they're grounded, so they get mad at all the humans that have alerted her to their misgivings and badness. Shame. Yep, it's all about the smoking. That's what the whole thing's about.
Saffron Burrows eats the cigarettes? Or yes. Dr. Susan McAllister eats the cigarettes?
Look at her eyeball. She's definitely eating nicotine.
I do love when during this scene, when Carter Blake looks at her, "Are you crazy?" And then she just gives him the look.
Yeah.
Well, I guess so. Yeah. I love big red buttons too, by the way.
It's such a huge. It's giant.
I wouldn't have shot the shark. I probably would have just shot her myself.
They've got a history. It's yeah.
Yeah, you could feel that.
He wants to take her for
tension.
a drink.
That shark played each and every one of them, though, so good. Pretended to be unconscious. When they stuck the in its head, it jumped a little bit because it hurt.
Bad dreams.
That's what we didn't talk about last week. Like, if the shark is faking it, that is an arm length long needle going into its brain that it is withstanding without like thrashing around. If it is
it's
awake,
in pain.
But then I did look it up, and apparently sharks don't feel pain, so that's how it did it.
Oh. Well, that's the case then, absolutely. Especially if its brain is 5 times bigger than a typical shark, which is already intelligent. Just go super brain apex predators. It's a great idea.
A side effect of making it super smart was it could now feel pain, and that's what it has to go through to be released. This is getting sad.
I mean, it might have felt something rummaging around its head. I mean, even if you don't feel pain, you can maybe feel a puncture.
I don't like thinking about this.
I've had surgery before, and I was conscious for it, and you can feel everything, but you can't. It's really, really weird. Yeah, that shark should have definitely eaten his arm.
Oh, listeners, I'm sorry, and if it helps, I have to listen to this twice. So.
Hey, I've done that too. We can just talk about surgery while being conscious.
I mean, I've had surgery and I was unconscious, and that was fine. So
I prefer it that way in the future.
Yeah, they're rummaging around in my shoulder because I had some like skin cancer type stuff, and they said, "Man, that's a lot of blood."
Isn't that a great thing to hear?
Yeah.
Well, they're inside your body.
That's weird. What'd you hit?
Mine was actually an emergency C-section, so I was conscious, and then I heard the father of my child say, "Your stomach is on your stomach. I don't think that's supposed to happen."
Oh.
I was like, dude, that's really comforting.
Wow.
Yeah, good times.
Yeah, mine was just an operation on my nose to make me able to breathe. This is far less exciting. I mean, I had a nosebleed that wouldn't stop for several hours, and so I just went in for that, and yeah, it's not an exciting story.
It's actually, it could be if you added water and sharks to the story.
I mean, I had a balloon shoved up my nose and then inflated, and then it burst, and to put it back out and shove another one up. Apparently, I went through the same pain as childbirth, but through my nose.
That's pretty gross.
Yeah,
I gotta tell you, in a shark tank is the last place you want to have surgery.
I mean, it depends if you want to keep your limbs. Do you want to stay alive? Do you want to have your body torn apart? Briefly feel it for a moment? I don't know.
Are the sharks performing the surgery?
They could.
No, scuba diving surgeons.
Okay, that makes more sense. Okay.
Scuba doctors.
Is this like just extreme surgery? Like how to make
National Geographic presents Scuba Doctors. They do surgery surrounded by sharks.
Tonight on Shark
Week. The subconscious is much calmer once you're underwater during surgery.
And I can see the doctor doing those testimonials. You know, when I was cutting that guy's leg off in that water, man, those sharks were getting crazy, but I got through it.
What music do you want to listen to during surgery? I want to listen to whale song. Oh, we haven't got that. I know. Let's go to the source.
I learned something really neat today. Can I tell you all that?
Yeah.
Can I tell you all what I learned? All right, so the helicopter X-Ray Alpha 218, they were coming from an oil platform.
Oh.
They weren't coming from land. So that's why they got there so quickly, I think.
Okay. Well,
cool.
that was actually one of I yell at the TV or movie screen when I see movies, and I tell people to not do the stupid crap they do, or I call BS on things like that. I'm really fun to watch movies with. So I'm watching it with my husband, and the one thing he goes, yeah, like that chopper's gonna come in here during the storm. And I looked at him and I said, so far this is the most realistic part of this freaking movie. The Coast Guard goes out in all of those kinds of things, so it's totally plausible. And then he said exactly what you did. Well, how could they, that they're so far away, get there so quickly? So thank you. Now you just proved my point further. I do enjoy being right.
Did you see who was flying the helicopter, though, Mark?
I did not see who was flying.
Well, there's 3 people on the helicopter. We only meet 2 of them in this minute. There's helicopter pilot and helicopter co-pilot are their credits. Helicopter pilot is a guy called Daniel Ray. Daniel Ray was a guitarist for the Ramones.
Seriously? Well,
Real name Daniel Rabinowitz was a guitarist for the Ramones. This is one of his few acting credits.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's why he's part of Pet Sematary.
Yes.
Because he had done some of the themes for that.
Well, yeah, he wrote Pet Sematary. That was one of his main credits with the Ramones, and he did...
And he was in Mulholland Drive.
Yeah, and he did the theme song for Todd Solondz' Welcome to the Dollhouse. But I was just like shocked, like, wait, what? This guy's in the Ramones? He hasn't got a picture on IMDb. What's going on? But yeah, he co-wrote Pet Sematary, and he did 9 out of 11 songs on Joey Ramone's 2002 solo album, Don't Worry About Me. But he was a Ramones guitarist for a while.
Wow.
and now a serious film star.
Yes. And the co-pilot is Valente Rodriguez, who's got quite a lot of acting credits to his name as well. But the one that stood out to me is Volcano. And I looked into it, and I'm pretty sure that he is the guy. In Volcano, he's credited as train driver. And I think he's the guy that John Carroll Lynch saves, who carries out of the burning subway train. And John Carroll Lynch wades into the lava, killing himself to throw this guy to safety. And I think that's Valente Rodriguez, co-pilot of the helicopter.
Wow. That's some good stuff. That's like in episode 1, I figured out that boy number 1 on the boat wrote
Cars 3.
Cars 3 and Scooby that came out this year. He wrote Angry Birds. He's a prolific writer in Hollywood now. Yeah.
He's just one of the guys on the boat at the start.
Yeah, and now he's a screenwriter.
Yeah. Well, I learned from you, Mark, to not stop at the acting credits and scroll further. And so, yeah, I scrolled past acting for Daniel Ray and found soundtrack. And went, oh, this guy's done quite a lot of soundtracks. Wait a minute, he's in the Ramones.
I think as far as helicopter pilots go, I'd put him with the Leviathan helicopter pilot. I don't know if you have watched that movie.
I have not.
Yes.
But there's a helicopter pilot at the end he has steels of nerve. He flies in, he sees this large creature.
Nerves of steel.
What?
You said steels of nerve.
Oh, nerves of steel. There it is.
No, I like steels of nerve.
I like it better.
I like having a steel structure made out of nerves. That's what.
Oh man, I could feel that. Yeah. Oh gosh. But yeah, so the pilot in Leviathan comes in there. He sees the monster. He sees all these people, but he's like, I've seen worse things than this. And then he just waits and he gets Peter Weller, and then they fly away to safety. But this guy in here, he's steely. I like his style. He's coming in, X-ray Alpha 218 from oil platform. He's crushing it.
Yeah, and he's flying through waves that are going above the helicopter. If we're just going by the POV of the camera, where the wave comes up, goes down, then helicopter appears.
That part was a lot of fun. I thought it was going to be a shark jumps out of the water and eats him. I had forgotten that entire scene. So it was just outstanding.
I love it. And I got to say, I was the only time I've ever been annoyed at Carter Blake is he keeps telling Ada Turturro, played by Brenda Kearns, he's like, Tower, I need my helicopter. But you're on a skeleton crew. You could just say Brenda.
Yeah.
Like, so when I was working on film sets and there were 8 of us, and someone would say, hey, art department. I'm like, I'm the one art department.
My name is Mark.
Yeah. It's art department, fly in. And I'm right behind you. Like, my name's like, I am the art department. Art department, we need you. Like, who is art department? So, like, on a big set, if you need it, like, hey, PA Nation, or hey, we need to get some Teamsters over here to move these cars. But they just kept saying the one art department on set. Art department. Yes. Okay, Mark, I got this. And so
I'm a
but yeah,
person, and my name is Mark.
I really had to go to psychiatry after that. Like, who am I? But yeah, he just keeps calling Brenda Tower, and he's like, "Where's my chopper?" Like, that's not really on Brenda.
She's sent out the
it's
message. She's done a very professional job at sending out. She's kept her voice calm when she's calling it. She's a professional. If it was me, I'd be like panicking, like, "Wait, SOS! Help everyone!" But she's got it calm.
And it's in the middle of a tropical storm. She has no problem going, I'm going to turn on this big light. She's even smart enough to aim it in the correct direction.
Yeah.
And besides, it's not as though he's such a professional that he would be this formal.
He's a shark wrangler who should know more about sharks than he does.
And tool wrangler.
Yes, and tool wrangler, of course, yes.
Yeah, that shark plays him, though. When he says the shark is sleeping like a baby, that'd be funny if the shark laughed.
Maybe that's what it did. Maybe it wasn't a bad dream or anything. Maybe that shark was chuckling. That's a shark chuckle right there.
Oh, I love it. Because that shark, we've been talking about this for the last few weeks, but you haven't heard the ep yet. But this shark, it helped him. Like, so that shark got shot, and somehow he got an 8,000-pound shark on that platform. The shark helped him, or the other sharks helped him. So this shark is, I can't believe these dummies are buying this. My plan's working.
I swam onto the platform. What do they think is happening here?
Oh, Carter, I'll eat you last. But yeah, I like that. The shark chuckles in this. Oh, that's great.
It was definitely a chuckle. I heard it. I know.
Now, this shark could have killed McAllister, right? And it could have hit Thomas Jane into a wall and decapitated. It could have decapitated him with its body, but it waited and it got Jim. Do you think it would have waited for any limb?
I think it went for the cigarette. I'm fairly certain that was the whole point. It had several opportunities prior to that. And what were they going to do? They had no weapons out. Everybody was completely vulnerable and paying it no heed. And it was sitting there going, I'm going to make them pay. This was psychological warfare, nothing else.
Maybe it knows that Jim is one of the smartest guys on Aquatica. Like, he's the kind of the head, the most experienced scientist there. And so it's taking out the brains.
Whoa.
Like, it's taking out the one who could be the most formidable. Like, if Jim survived, if it had taken out, I don't know, the dumbest person, Scoggins. If it had taken out Scoggins first, then it'd be like, Jim might have thought, oh no, the shark, it's hurting us. We gotta fight back. I reckon this shark knows that Jim would have outsmarted it. It's the only
I think
threat.
you might be onto something, because look at who survives at the end. It isn't the two brainiacs of the entire place.
No.
You've got
It's the cook and the
Day.
wrangler. Yeah.
Yeah.
No offense. That's the shark's perspective.
From the shark's perspective, exactly. There's nobody else that can mess with the shark anymore.
Yeah, it takes out all of the people who would have qualifications, qualifications in cookery, I know, and I'd love to have them. But all the ones who would have like science-based stuff, they're all gone.
But I think that's its fatal flaw, though, because Preacher kills the shark in the kitchen fight and
He's
then blows
scrappy.
up the one later. Carter Blake is the one who makes the dynamite in this. So I don't see good old Jim Whitlock stabbing a shark in the eye with a crucifix.
So do we think the shark somehow got hold of the personnel files and went through and found out who had the most qualifications and aimed for those people?
Again, I think that wouldn't necessarily be the case, because then there would have been some reason to go after Carter Blake, because he does have a background of some kind of violence, etc., for being a criminal.
But I think if the sharks are basing this purely on a management system where if you go for a job, they look at your CV, they look at what qualifications you have, what degrees you have, that kind of thing. That's all the sharks are thinking of. That they've made the sharks too smart. They're ignoring their practical life skills and going straight for the academic. That's their fatal flaw.
They're learning. Yes, they can read. They can read now.
They don't value the blue-collar skills. This is what's wrong with society today.
I mean, since they can destroy cameras, then you know that a camera feeds to a video monitor that people watch. So that you could technically read, correct, with those reasoning skills.
Yeah, theoretically, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Does that make sense? Like, you know that's a camera, and so I'm going to destroy it so they can't see it. Man, what did they create down there?
What have they done?
Next thing you know, it's going to be sharks in space.
God, I should have shot that thing.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. So I have who should the